Welcome back to the show. We got a great one lined up for you today. Saudi Arabia, U.S. bonds, and Ripple partners. What in the world is going on? All right, we're going to get into it. U.S. Senate, blockchain for national security, and the pole position in the innovation stablecoin race. We got that and so much more. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show. You can follow us on Twitter, YouTube, and digperspectives.com for exclusive content. Right now, $2.23 trillion market cap for crypto. The market is up 0.7%. 57,600 plus for Bitcoin right now. 3,000 plus for Ethereum. 111 billion plus market cap for USD Tether. USDC has jumped up to 33 billion. It was 34 billion earlier this morning. And we see XRP at 43 cents. We're up 0.9 on the 24 and off by 8.4 on the 7-day. We'll look at the range of price very quickly between 43 and 44 cents. We'll keep an eye on it. Let's get started right away right here. This is GlintPay CEO Jason Cousins talking to Ray Fuentes, ladies and gentlemen. If you haven't given Ray Fuentes a follow, let's give him a follow. We all know and love Ray, and he is now a social media influencer in the world, and you want to follow everything he's doing. But let's listen to this quick clip right here as his interview opens this up about the financial crisis.
Do you see any similarities from the previous financial crisis to what's going on now?
Yeah, it's much worse. We did not have $34 trillion worth of debt at that point. The US hadn't weaponized its currency one last time. We didn't have dollar currency reserves at all-time lows. The QE went on steroids after 2008, and then legislators and central banks suddenly said, hey, we like this. Let's use it again. Look what's happened with the money printing.
And there you have it. Just that easily in 24 seconds, Jason lays it down. Shout out to Jason Cousins. You can try out Glint by clicking the link under the video or go to GlintPay. And you can also get Glint private equity on Link2's platform. We start right here as Bahamas to force banks to support its central bank digital currency, meaning Bahamas is pushing forward with its plans to fully integrate its central bank digital currency, the sand dollar, which was the first CBDC to come out within the commercial banking sector over the next 2 years. It's coming, ladies and gentlemen. I know it feels like forever. I want it too. But you know what? Patience is the greatest attribute of any investor. There's no question about that. No question about it. And here's a reminder here from Smoke Dog. Boy, I tell you, where there's smoke, there's fire. Give him a follow. July 2024, European Securities and Market Authority, MiCA-compliant crypto asset service providers must keep records of relevant data in accordance with ISO 20022 methodology. Identification of crypto assets to digital token identifier within the ISO 20022, MiCA plus ISO 20022 plus crypto assets. It's all related and circles back to the compliant crypto assets every single time. It really does. Look, I have said it multiple times. You know, you're not going to be running around here thinking that there's going to be no way for a government to not get you on the on and off ramp at some point in and out of this digital world. At some point, you're going to have to come back to spending dollars, and that may be a digital dollar. But if you think you're going to be able to do that without some form of taxation or a transaction fee, or without any regulatory oversight, I'm telling you, that's not the world we live in. I love it. As a libertarian, I love it. But I also know what is coming. That's the reason for legislation. Look at what MiCA just did for 27 nations in the European Union, ladies and gentlemen. Look what they did. All of a sudden, July 1st, USD Tether doesn't qualify as a stable coin. Yeah. Not quite dawned on the rest of the world, but that's what's happening in the European Union right now. And, you know, I don't think you have to be David Copperfield to know that that's probably going to be the same result in the United States. Meanwhile, Saudi Arabia strengthened its bond with Brics as it sends a warning sign to the G7 against seizing Russian assets and anyone else's assets for that matter. This will backfire horribly. You know, the U.S. threatened to seize Russian assets, and now Saudi Arabia is going, hey, to the G7. No. Whoa, not so quick. Because when you do that, then every other country is going to say to themselves, well, why am I going to hold anything with the U.S.? Because they could turn around and do to me what they did to Russia. It's just simple math. You know, it's not very complicated. However, we see Brics is getting stronger as President Putin, awards Indian Prime Minister Modi with the Order of St. Andrew the Apostle. It's Russia's highest award. They're looking to unite the partners of Brics. The spokesperson for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Islamic Republic of Iran has proposed to link the payment systems of all the countries of the Brics bloc, allowing seamless settlements between these. And then here, on the heels of deciding on Brics, Saudi Arabia's state-run oil giant Aramco has started issuing U.S. dollar-denominated bonds. So at the same time, you must understand, I want you to know this. At the same time that Saudi Arabia is warning the U.S. and the G7 about seizing Russian assets, they're also playing both sides of this angle because they have the ability to do so. They're in a position of strength because they haven't chosen to take the invitation to join Brics officially yet, and they haven't chosen to step forward and say that they're going to continue honoring the petrodollar agreement as they have done for the last 50 years. So they're in a position of power. So as they wag their finger to warn the U.S. about seizing Russian assets, they're also issuing U.S. dollar bonds trying to show the U.S. that we're still in allegiance, right, with one another. We're still in collaboration with one another. Check this out. Saudi Arabia is yet to confirm if it wants to join Brics Alliance and has kept the decision on hold for over a year. Brics invited Saudi Arabia to join the bloc during 23 summit, and the kingdom has yet to accept the invitation and provide an answer. However, I do want to side note this. They do have a memorandum of understanding, which is known as an MOU, and that is with the Brics coalition to the tune of $15 or $30 billion. So they intend to. Okay, let's not get lost on that note. Now, back to this. On the heels of deciding on Brics, Saudi Arabia's state-run oil giant Aramco has started issuing U.S. dollar-denominated bonds. We'll get to that in a second. These bonds are solely aimed at institutional investors. The issuance is managed by leading U.S. banks such as Citi, Goldman Sachs, J.P. Morgan, HSBC, Morgan Stanley, SMB Capital, among others. Therefore, Saudi Arabia is working closely with the U.S. institutional banks for dollar-denominated bonds while pausing the Brics invitation. Okay? Now, going into that, let's go into this. Ripple ally SBI Group and Saudi Aramco to explore joint digital asset investment. So Saudi Arabia's giant Aramco is issuing U.S. dollar bonds, and SBI Ripple partner is working with Saudi Aramco to explore joint digital asset investment. Indirect connection, but I still love it. Meanwhile, while all of this is going on with Brics, new payment systems around the world, U.S. sanctions, avoiding SWIFT, the U.S. Senate suggests exploring blockchain use to enhance national security. Well, some would say, well, Brad, that has nothing to do with what's going on. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. The Secretary is also requiring to analyze the current state of blockchain adoption in national security applications within the Department of Defense and the Defense Industrial Base, with estimates for necessary resources for these activities. By the deadline, they must plan for a pilot programs or research development efforts to explore the use of technology in the defense sector and an analysis of China and Russia's usage of blockchain technology. the People's Republic of China and the Russian Federation. So it absolutely has everything to do with Brics. How about that one? Let me remind you of something else. Remember when David Schwartz said the top down versus the bottom up, and how this industry of blockchain and crypto is different than the internet? Why? Because, wait for it, the internet was adopted from the top down first. Militaries and governments, and then the consumer got computers, and then we got search engines, and the rest is history. Look at what they're saying right now. The U.S. Senate suggests exploring blockchain to enhance national security. Adopting blockchain inside the Department of Defense is, in fact, watching this technology be adopted from the top down. We have been from the bottom up from day one in this space. Bitcoin's been about libertarian movement and the grassroots and a Lambo and a watch. Right? But what we're about to see is the top down. And we're not going to see the kind of scale and growth in order of magnitude that we've been knowing that the XRP ledger is deserving of until we see the military and governments adopt a technology which I just showed you they're about to do. Come on in. Now, that brings us back to the on and off ramps, which are digital dollars like USDC, USD Tether, and yes, the real USD dollar from Ripple's camp, which has not yet been launched. We're waiting, eagerly waiting. Take a listen to this.
I have a conspiracy regarding Bitcoin and the U.S. government that's going to blow your mind.
You could have told us with a shirt on, but you know what? We love you anyway.
Been using the Mt. Gox news and the German confiscated Bitcoin to nuke Bitcoin below 58K, which causes USDT to capitulate, sell for USDT to balance their sheets, which then causes further dumping down to 51K, making miners capitulate, which drops the price down to the 45 to 47K range, at which point ETFs then buy Bitcoin and BlackRock helps USDC take market share from USDT over in Europe. This is all part of the bigger play. Just when you think you know what's happening, you don't. USDC wants to take over as the stablecoin, as the number one stablecoin, and USDT currently holds that crown. The US government, combined with BlackRock, are going to work together to make that happen.
Well, and to that gentleman's point here, let's take a look. Trading volume for USDC stablecoin has soared $23 billion a year. This growth comes amid a growing demand for transparency as traders gravitate towards regulated stablecoin alternatives. This is what I've been saying. Same thing I've been saying about Bitcoin, XRP, or anything else. If the government says it's a fine, you're going to jail, whatever, they can turn anything. They can tax the shit out of it. It doesn't matter. They can regulate it or tax whatever they decide out of existence. And what you're seeing here is you're seeing them now bless USDC. We need the real US dollar on the XRP ledger and the Ethereum network like 5 minutes ago, like yesterday. And I know that they're coming. I'm just excited. Okay? But we need this to close the gap. It should be no reason why we're watching USDC gain all of this ground in favor, understanding that we are an amazing opportunity with the XRP ledger and the real USD. There's no question about that. Now, with that being said, get ready because we are going to likely see the real USD this year.
Plus your legacy of being a very trusted, compliant, secure player in the enterprise space. So I think we're a great candidate to bring a trusted US dollar stable to the market.
A lot of people wanted me to ask this question. When are you planning to launch it?
We're working on it right now, and you can expect to see more from us later this year.
So is it likely going to launch this year then?
Likely.
There you have it. Likely from Monica Long. Shout out to Monica. But listen, think of this for a moment, okay? Brad Garlinghouse is meeting today with the White House administration, with others, Mark Cuban and others. And it is absolute damage control. And you can see where Brad Garlinghouse, CEO, will be meeting to discuss digital asset regulation with the Biden administration Today. Now, what's amazing about that to me is this. We know that the real stablecoin is waiting to launch. The Biden administration is trying to figure out how to stop losing voter base to crypto voters that Donald Trump has taken over. You could easily do what this one fell swoop, either put the FIT 21 Act through or get together with the Senate that is now looking to adopt for the Department of Defense and military blockchain. Let's adopt the ledger. Let's get going here. And the Biden administration could look a lot stronger on this campaign issue, which is now a full-on issue. It is not going away. This is not going to the back burner. This issue has become front and center in this campaign, which means it will be front and center no matter who wins or loses. Believe it. Don't believe it. It's still true. But they could instantly, from this meeting today, make that decision to move forward with Ripple and the XRP ledger as a way to show that the Biden administration is actually on point with where they need to be with this technology. Now, that's me wanting it to happen, but it's still relevant. Because look at this. Don't forget that Ripple is a part, as of 60 other companies that are tied in to help FedNow be what FedNow is. And by the end of 2024, 50% of banks and credit unions will be up and running with real-time payments with FedNow. Roughly half of the financial institutions plan to offer real-time payments through FedNow. This is where we're going. And it may just be that a meeting like this today is how we get there a little bit quicker. Not financial advice from me or anyone else. It's just my digital perspectives. I'll catch all of you on the next one.